All right. We back. Kurt, you on your phone, man.
No, I turned the volume
Oh, all right.
I make sure I turn the volume
All right. We back. Tacos with Friends podcast at gmail.com. Tacos with Friend on Twitter. We got the Instagram page that I haven't posted nothing to yet because I don't know how to do it yet. And Tacos with Friends on YouTube. We getting a lot of likes on YouTube.
Great.
We getting likes on YouTube. We getting views on YouTube. We coming up. Subscribe and like on YouTube. All right, Kurt. Well, Jim's not here. Jim's got a cat problem. Shout out to Jim's cat. Shout out to Jim's cat.
Is it a cat problem or just a pussy problem?
No, it's a cat problem, man. And look, Jim loves his cats, and he got to take his cat to the vet. So shout out to Jim's cat. I was gonna call him and ask him for the cat's name. Maybe once we about to wrap it up, maybe I might call Jim. We'll see. He said the vet appointment is at like 1:00, so he should be in there now.
Right.
All right, Kurt. What about the NBA draft? The draft was yesterday.
Right.
First off, let me start off with this. I don't watch college basketball. I don't watch college basketball. So like you have to in order for me to know about a college basketball player, you gotta be like really popular. Kind of like LeBron, you know what I mean? When LeBron was in high school, they were showing LeBron's high school games on ESPN. Like, so you didn't have no choice but to know about LeBron.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Or like when Carmelo was there, even like Steph Curry. Like when Steph Curry was in college at Davidson, like everybody knew about Steph Curry.
Right. Exactly.
Even what's the little dude, Jimmer Fredette, when he was in college, everybody was talking about him. Like I remember they said a story about him, like his brother used to take him to like prisons and he used to play basketball against inmates so he could get tougher.
Wow. Okay.
Jimmer Fredette, obviously he's not in NBA right now. He's playing in China. But he's like dropping like 60 in China though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But so from I watched the whole first round. I got through the whole thing. Usually that's I watched the whole NBA draft.
Oh, I just watched the first round.
No, I watched the whole So DeAndre Ayton went number 1. He went to Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the other dude? Marvin Bagley. Yeah. He went to who was picking 2?
I don't even
Sacramento.
know.
Sacramento was picking 2.
Pick 2.
And Atlanta was picking 3.
Right.
And they traded their pick to Dallas.
Exactly.
And they picked up Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic.
Yeah, and Trae Young went to Atlanta. After that, I'm done. After that, I can remember the first few picks.
Right.
After that, I'm done.
Well, see, my comment is basically about how disappointed I am in the NBA now truthfully being an international sport. You got players coming from all across the world. My disappointment was when Chauncey was doing his comparison to players.
I know you're going already.
I don't understand why he had to compare players of the same race and nationality.
I already know
that doesn't make any sense.
Kurt, on the Twitter, that was a big thing. It was a big thing about that. That was right behind I don't know if you know the reporter Adrian Wojnarowski or something basically the last few years, he didn't work for ESPN.
Okay.
So what he would do is he would let, basically before they announced who was drafted, he would let it be known who was getting drafted 5 minutes beforehand.
Okay.
So you would already know who's getting drafted before they even announce it.
Right.
So now he works for ESPN, and I guess the NBA talked to all the sports outlets and was like, all right, we got to stop. Let us name the pick first.
Mm-hmm.
So the way to get around him naming, for instance, when Phoenix was about to make the number 1 pick, instead of him saying Phoenix is going to pick Ayton, he said, sources are telling me Phoenix is leaning towards,
right,
or another team is lasering in, or sources are telling me another team is circling around this. Right. So he didn't say they were going to pick him, but in a sort of kind of way he did. Right. But right behind that was what you were talking about.
Right.
Was Chauncey Billups is he's not a bad announcer.
No, not at all.
I've noticed that because I think Grayson Allen from Duke,
right?
He got picked. He went to Utah,
right?
And Chauncey Billups compared him to Bob Sewell.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Now, I'm pretty sure you could pick another player,
right,
other than Bob Sewell.
Exactly.
And nothing against Bob Sewell.
Nothing against Bob Sewell.
I remember Bob Sewell.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that his game can compare to somebody else.
Exactly, of a different race.
Exactly.
This is what I don't understand.
It's like a crazy thing. It's like it's kind of like black quarterbacks, like they want to compare, like every black quarterback, they expect a black quarterback to run. Yeah. So automatically you're compared to Vic.
Yeah.
Or they're going to compare. And you got to remember, it ain't them many black quarterbacks.
No, exactly.
So there's only a few. You might get Vic, you might get McNabb,
right.
Cunningham.
Warren Moon.
Right.
They had to go as far back as that.
Right.
So but that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, why do you got to compare them to the same race? Like, there's no other player that they comparable with.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
And the other thing I'm really disappointed about, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a WNBA fan. 2018, I still can't go and actually look at the highlights of the games on the Xfinity or ESPN to watch the highlights. It's 2018, man. They don't show the WNBA any respect at all. You can't even get the sports. You can't even get the on the sports app. You can't even get the game and scores for WNBA. It's not even showing up, which is terrible.
I feel you on that, Kurt. I wonder that.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that might be a reason why I don't watch the WNBA, because it's not as accessible as other sports.
It's not commercially promoted.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I know ESPN has a W, so I'm like, okay, ESPN has W, so I'm sure on the app, at least on the app, I can watch it. No, not even on ESPN app.
See, I know ESPN shows women basketball games.
Yeah, doing the commercials.
I know they show the games, but they show the games. It'd be like late at night. It'll be like they pick the late games.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's
exactly.
usually like the LA team.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, to be honest with you, Kurt, I didn't even realize. Did you know the WNBA got a Vegas team?
Yes,
I didn't even know.
The Aces.
I didn't even know.
And I was thinking about that. I was like, Vegas is really popping off with these sports teams.
Vegas is the best place to have a sports team.
That's why LeBron should buy his team in Vegas.
What are you talking about, Kurt?
LeBron should buy his own team and go to Vegas. Vegas is making himself
available.
About
right now?
Right now. If he's undecided on what he want to do, start your own team.
So
it's already whoever versus LeBron.
So let me ask you a question. So are you saying LeBron should retire and get his own team?
He can be a player owner. It's a such thing as a player owner.
Okay.
I'm being honest with you, man, because I'm just being honest, man. You think about it, and what we were talking about, this quote unquote parody crap. Again, like my suggestion was, stop drafting, because you will never find anybody that at LeBron's capability of playing, no matter where he go, unless he goes to a team with an all-star player.
Now, you know what, Kurt? I'm actually happy you brought that up, because that's something I did, that was something I was thinking about yesterday, because they were talking about, with the draft, a lot of, the rookies coming in, they were, not given a medical report to, certain teams. Like, for instance, I think, a lot of the guys in the draft, they didn't give their, information to, the Sacramento Kings.
Right, exactly.
And I think, one of the players, they're declining to go work out for him. I think one of the players told Memphis, I don't want to come here.
Exactly. They have that choice. They have that. I say, like you said, why waste all your time and energy trying to interview for a place you don't want to go to?
So this is my thing with that, Kurt, is I can understand. I think once you kind of okay with Kawhi Leonard. Now I have it hidden, Kurt. I'm a Spurs fan.
No, you mentioned it before.
Fan. I'm a big Spurs fan.
Right,
Kurt, I don't hide that I'm a Spurs fan.
Right.
So Kawhi Leonard, this is a tough time in Spurs land right now.
Exactly.
It's a tough time, even though. I think even if Kawhi leaves, I still think we're going to make the playoffs. I don't think we're going to miss the playoffs.
And that's what I was saying to someone else. the Spurs organization has always been able to take the pieces and make it to the playoff. We've known of these players, Tony Parker, David Robinson, Tim Duncan. We've known of these players. These players have put themselves together with Pop and the organization and became champions without being household names.
Right.
The Spurs can do that. That's one team that can do that.
Now with Kawhi, if Kawhi wants to leave, Kawhi's been in the league for a while. He's gotten through his contract. He wants to leave, fine. All right, cool, you can leave. But I think like if you coming in as a rookie, you really just trying to get your foot in the you can almost end up like Jello Ball didn't get drafted at all.
Exactly.
And actually I read today that the Lakers didn't even offer him a spot on a summer league team.
Right. And see that's the thing, man. With that scenario, that whole family dynamic is just getting fucked up.
But I rock with my mans. I rock with the Ball family.
Right. That's why nobody else wears their clothes with them. Not even they wear their own clothes, as a matter of fact. But
hey man, LeVar's always rocking Big Baller Brands.
Yeah, LeVar is, but his kids ain't. His kids ain't wearing Big Baller Brands nowhere. Not even at the crib. But that family dynamic is just getting fucked up, and nobody wants to trust them, man. Yeah, that's all that is. They at the point now. They not. His other two sons would no longer. I don't even think that the NBA would even allow them to be picked to play in the NBA.
Kurt, isn't LeVar kind of like Peyton Manning and Eli Manning's dad?
No,
sort of, kind of, man.
Not at all.
Like Kurt, I remember when Eli Manning was gonna get drafted, his daddy came out and said, "We're not playing for this team. Draft my son to the Giants."
Right, and then that was it.
LeVar's not doing nothing.
But not now, because all his hype is gone. In the beginning, he took it to that level and he kept going. Peyton, their father stopped after that. He's still trying to get recognition that he doesn't deserve.
He got 2 more kids.
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. So that's not the same. It's not the same. When Peyton stops, he stopped. LeVar Ball wants to continue to go on.
Kurt, you got to ride with LeVar Ball, man.
No,
Kurt, we got to support.
I understand.
Kurt,
I support.
We got to support black business.
No. Yeah. I understand black business, but what I'm saying is detriment to the point now that your sons are being looked at as almost like an infestation. Nobody wants you to come in and cause disease in the locker room, man.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I always knew Jello wasn't going to make it in the NBA because he wasn't that good. So this isn't a surprise for me.
Right.
Jello wasn't good.
Right.
Now, the younger dude, I don't really think he's going to want to play basketball too much longer. So I don't think he's going to make it. I think, even though...
And why do you think that? Because his father taking his dreams away?
No,
and you think he's sitting up here saying, no matter what I do,
Kurt,
because of my dad, nobody's even going to try to help me or allow me to even... What if he even, like you said, he make the choices to try out for teams, and teams don't even want to accept his tryout because of his father?
And that's why I heard why the Lakers didn't want to do it, because of LeVar. But what I'm saying is that, have you ever thought about it? Like right now, the big thing is, LeBron and Dwayne Wade, they kids are like playing bad, and they supposed to be really good.
Right.
But the thing is, like Kurt, I remember when I was like 14, 15, 16, the stuff that I said I wanted to do, by the time, a couple years later, I didn't want to do it no more. So
I
the
know.
thing is, they might. So that's what I'm saying.
That's why none of Jordan's sons in the league. Come on, man.
Why do you want to play basketball when you can do other stuff?
Exactly, when you're financially capable of doing other things.
So that's what I'm saying. So maybe like Mellow Ball, right now maybe he's playing basketball just because he thinks that's what his dad wants him to do.
Guaranteed.
But once he gets a little older, he might say, man, I don't want to play basketball. Let me run the Big Baller brand.
If the Big Baller brand actually takes off.
Kurt, the Big Baller brand's gonna take off. Which NBA player? I think it was Jordan Crawford.
Jordan Crawford.
He wore some Big Baller brand.
Jordan Crawford.
Kurt.
Not Jamal Crawford.
Curt, you got to start somewhere.
But Jordan Crawford.
Now, Kurt, let me ask you a question. Do you wear Pumas?
Yes, I have 3 pairs of Pumas.
What do you think about like all these basketball players?
But see, the thing is, Puma had never legitimately made basketball shoes. See, this is going to be the next question. Are they actually going to make real basketball quality shoes.
That's what I would be wondering. Because a lot of the draft picks are like, because I think a lot of draft picks they signed with Puma. I think like Jay-Z became like a director or something. Basically, Jay-Z, they gave Jay-Z a bullshit. Exactly. They gave him a bullshit title just so people would think Jay-Z's doing something. Jay-Z's probably not doing nothing. He's just calling.
He's
the
name for the attraction.
He was like when the New Jersey Nets went to Brooklyn, they made a big deal of Jay-Z's the owner. And really, Jay-Z owned like less than 1% of the team. Right. He was basically the mascot.
Right, exactly.
And I think that's what he is now. Like I think I read today, like Jalen Rose, he's like an ambassador. I think like Kurt, who's the old man? He used to play for the Knicks with the big sideburns.
Oh man, playing with the Knicks.
Where's the colorful suits?
Frazier.
Yeah, Frazier.
Yeah.
Like I think they like signed him as an ambassador, and they're releasing some of his shoes. I think like Rudy Gay, he's signed with Puma. Okay. Now you would assume that all these people that are signing with them, that they've given them a prototype sneaker to at least try before you sign them.
And like I said, it turned into a Lacoste. Because talk to your boy about Lacoste basketball shoe.
Kurt, wait a minute. You talking about the alligator?
Yeah.
You talking about the alligator polos?
Yeah, for Lacoste, it had
there was basketball shoes.
Basketball shoe is God dang, why I can't remember this. Dude, Joakim Noah had the contract with them. That's why his feet was always hurt.
Yeah. Like. Kurt, there's certain shoes that I don't think you should hoop in.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Puma is one of them.
I just think, I don't know, but I definitely would wonder about that. Like, I think if you gonna hoop, Nikes, I'm kind of on the fence about Adidas. I don't even really like hooping in Adidas.
Right.
Like, there's Nikes, Jordans. And Jordans because Nike makes Jordans.
Exactly.
And then, like, even the Steph Curry Under Armours, I ain't sure about them.
I don't even understand why they steal $70. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because they look good. I'll wear them to wear them, not to play in them. But I don't understand why they $70.
Wait a minute. You would wear Steph Curry shoes?
I would wear them to wear them, not to play in them.
I'm saying
different. I wear these. I don't play in these.
Kurt, I'm saying
these are Jordans. I wear these.
Well, no, okay.
I don't play in these.
Okay, so this is the thing about Jordan shoes. So this is the thing. You're not supposed to. The Jordans they sell in the stores, you ain't supposed to hoop in those. Those aren't hooping shoes.
Oh, you just not a hoop.
No, Kurt.
But I understand. Kurt, like I said, these aren't comfortable. I believe not to play ball in. Some shoes you cannot play ball in.
No, what I'm saying is this. I'm saying like the Jordans that you go to the store to buy now, like the retro Jordans, like the Jordan, like I got on some Jordan 1s right now, like the Jordan 2s, the 13s, the 12s. If you buy them in the store, those are not the same type. Like they might look the same,
right? But they're
not the shoes that he's wearing to hoop in,
right?
And like I've heard stories of people hooping in Jordans.
Lance Stevenson just a few right before the end of the season. Lance Stevenson told the story about he wore some Jordans and they came apart.
Yeah, they'll explode on you.
After the guy told him don't wear them in the game.
Right, they explode on you.
They exploded on you. Yeah, I know. I had a pair of the same
That's
thing.
what I'm saying. So you're not supposed to, but. Like I said, Adidas, I'm on the fence about those. I'm not sure about people wearing Adidas. I'm not a big Adidas fan as far as like hooping in.
Right.
Nike, Jordans, that's it.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones.
I got a pair of Adidas in I'm currently hooping in right now, to be honest with you.
Man, Kurt, your feet must be on fire afterwards.
No. My feet hurt before and after, so right now it doesn't make a difference. Hey, but Kurt. No, they pretty comfortable right now.
Come holler at me when you D-Rose the knee.
No, they ain't D-Rose. Right. They better quality.
Hey, man, look, I remember I went to like a store, I threw on some D-Rose shoes. When I tell you those are probably the most uncomfortable shoes I ever put on my feet.
Right.
The most, they were like terrible.
Oh, yeah, I can believe it.
Right. Kurt, where's LeBron going?
LeBron is staying in Cleveland.
Who's coming to Cleveland with him?
Nobody's coming to Cleveland.
Wait, so Oh, wait.
Because again, you can't have it both ways. You can't say you want to have parity and then LeBron stays in Cleveland, but then you want another all-star player to come here. Because regardless of the simple fact, you're not going to have a team that's productive without at least 3-4 all-star players. For some reason, Oklahoma City just can't get it right. They consistently been the one team that's always had 2 or 3 all-star players.
Okay, so
but they could not come together and play.
So this is my thing about Oklahoma. See now, Kurt, we done this show done turned just to like a sports show now because we're gonna be talking about this for a while.
That's no problem.
All right, so because we had an idea of where I had an idea what maybe I'll touch on that stuff towards the end, but there's actually a couple things I want to hit on. But so Oklahoma, when they had Westbrook, Durant, Harden, and Ibaka.
Yes,
they made it to the finals against the Heat.
Yeah,
and at that time, now this is the thing. A lot of people, a lot of these sports reporters, like, you know what? I hate when sports reporters say like, yeah, this team, they should have took this guy. Like, I knew he was going to be like Donovan Mitchell with the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody's like, he went 13th in the draft last year.
Right.
12 teams passed up on him. Right,
because at that time, his body of work was not what he
you
played.
Don't know. You don't know. But my thing is, so what I'm going to is, at the time when the Thunder went to the finals for the first time, tell me anybody who would have took James Harden over Serge Ibaka at that time.
Nobody.
I'm talking about at that specific time.
Right.
James Harden was coming off the bench.
Exactly.
Who would have took James Harden over Serge Ibaka at that time?
Nobody.
Now, from what I heard, the Thunder, they had a choice. They could have played the next season out. They didn't have to trade Harden at the time.
Right.
But they wanted to get something back. So they traded him to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't be mad at them on that. Because, you know, like, you got to do this coming off the bench. I think when they traded him to Houston, they got like Kevin Martin back. And Kevin Martin was not bad. He was pretty good.
I don't remember.
You remember Kevin Martin? He's a little light-skinned dude.
I don't.
Kurt, I'm gonna pull up some Kevin Martin highlights. Kevin Martin, he played for. He was definitely in Houston, but I really remember hearing about him first in Sacramento. But he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad. He was
maybe if I see his
light
face.
Dude.
Oh yeah, okay. Kevin Martin,
yeah. When they traded him to Houston, they got Kevin Martin back, so they basically got a dude to come off the bench.
Right.
So it wasn't a bad trade. It's just like now James Harden, an MVP, probably he's averaging like 10 assists, 30 points a game.
Right, of course.
So yeah, looking back, it sucks, but. Like Oklahoma right now, the biggest problem they're going to have is they got to get Melo out of there.
And then what? They get Melo out, and then what? See, that's what I'm trying to figure out. And then what? Now,
okay, so let me tell you this, Kurt. Me personally, I think Paul George is going back to Oklahoma.
Okay. He needs to.
I'm not the biggest Paul George fan. I think Paul George is slightly overrated now.
Yeah, just like the man said, the only time he hit a game-winning shot was in the commercial.
That's the only time.
Paul
George needs to be around somebody like Westbrook. But now let me tell you this. I think Melo, towards the end of the year in the playoffs, he was a cancer to that team. Because Melo should be coming off the bench. Unless Melo's going to come off the bench and accepts coming off the bench, they need to get him off the team.
Okay, I understand that.
Melo is not a starter no more. He needs to come off the bench. Like when Dwayne Wade went to Cleveland,
right.
I'm going to come off the bench. When they sent him back to Miami, Dwayne Wade came off the bench.
Right.
Now, Carmelo Anthony is no Dwayne Wade.
No.
And if Dwayne Wade can come off the bench, Carmelo Anthony can come off the bench.
Right, which I understand.
Unless he's going to come off the bench, they need to either they need to find some sucker team to try to trade him to, or they need to just buy him out.
Right.
And the next thing, and this is going to be the thing this is the only thing the Thunder need to do, get a point guard. Russell Westbrook's not a point guard.
No, he's not. He's a shooting guard, but he has no other choice but sometimes control the ball. That's why they had Felton. That's why they got Felton.
But he was coming off they need to actually get
a point guard to start. to start with Russ.
The best year they had was when Derek Fisher was there.
Right.
And Derek Fisher was the point guard, and he had Westbrook and Durant off the ball.
Right.
So if they get like a good starting point guard, like if they could trade for like one of these rookie point guards that they just picked up, Thunder would be fine.
Right.
They'll be fine. I'm not worried about them. I ain't worried about them at all.
If they can make that type of move, though.
I don't think they can.
I don't think they can.
I don't think they can.
Right.
I don't think they can. But
because even in the worst case scenario, the only true point guard that was drafted last night was Trae Young, in my personal opinion, man.
Actually, you know what? The guy that Cleveland picked up the point guard there, I saw some of his highlights.
I saw a few of his highlights, but
he looked pretty good.
I'm talking about in the definition of a point guard. The only point guard.
But the thing is Trae Young really a point guard? Like, I mean, like, does he get the offense going, or is he more so a scoring point guard?
But see, what's the difference now? See, this
there's
no difference because now point guards are actually requested to score. Because initially, point guards were only supposed to pass the ball. Right. They weren't supposed to have offensive scoring games.
Right.
Now, what's the difference? That's what everybody wants to score.
I think yesterday, like I can't even remember the dude's name, but I think Charlotte picked him up and they traded him to the Clippers, and he was a point guard. This dude was 6'6", and they're saying he's a point guard.
Well, yeah, what you talking about? Ben Simmons is the point guard.
Michael Jordan was.
Michael Jordan wasn't a ball handler, so you can't say that.
I'm saying is, at least when I was coming up, point guards range from 5'10" to about 6'2", 6'3".
Right.
You know what I mean? When I think of point guard, like the first, like when somebody say point guard, the first thing that pops in my head is John Stockton.
Exactly.
That's the first person. John Stockton could probably get you 20 at most.
Right.
But John Stockton's going to also get you probably 15 assists.
Mm-hmm.
He could probably get you maybe like 4 or 5 rebounds, and he's probably going to get you about 5 steals too.
Right.
That's like when I think of point guard, that's who I think of.
Exactly.
That's the first person I think of.
That's the first point, but see, right now, this time, that's no longer available because you have to see and realize the world is reverting back to giants, man. It's like every time you look around, you got a motherfucking 10-year-old that's 6'7". You know what I'm talking about?
Kurt, let me ask you this question. Could Shaq play right now?
Could Shaq play?
I mean, like, not at his age. I mean, like, dominant Shaq. I'm not talking about Orlando Shaq. I'm talking about when Shaq was winning championships. Lakers Shaq. Could he survive in the league right now?
Came right out of LSU.
No. I'm not talking about Orlando. I'm talking about Lakers Shaq. Lakers Shaq when he was winning. Game? I'm talking about 2000 to 2002 when Shaq was averaging 30 and 15. Yeah. Could Shaq right now, like the way the league is right now, could Shaq play?
Yes, because nobody wants to go down low and fuck with Shaq. Shaq would be down low by himself. You have no other choice but to give him the ball because everybody else is going to run to the fucking three-point line.
But, like, okay, so let me ask this question, though. Like, so let's say, like, because to me personally, the best center right now, I would say, is Embiid. I like Embiid a lot.
Right.
Embiid now, he probably ain't going to hit all them threes.
No, of course.
But he keeps you honest.
Exactly. You got to go out. You got to go out.
So if you put a dude like Embiid who got size, who also is going to hit the post, because I remember like when the Lakers back in the day used to play Sacramento, it was always a thing of Vlade would never try to post Shaq up. He would always stand out, around the free throw line, right around the elbow.
Right.
And, because that's, you bringing Shaq out, now you're clearing space. Right. So you think now how the NBA is, where you got basically centers are shooting threes. Like one of the reasons like Dwight Howard's getting traded everywhere is because his position doesn't really exist no more.
Dwight Howard Dwight
Howard had a good season last year, man. I think he averaged like 17 to 13 last year.
I don't know.
It's not like when you think of Dwight Howard at his best, that's not a good season, but anybody else, that's a good year.
Right.
Like I guarantee you this way, if JaVale McGee averaged 17 and 13 for the Warriors, they'd be praising him right now if he could average that.
What are you talking about? Outside of Golden State, they'd be praising.
If he did that in Golden State.
No, I'm talking about the world outside of Golden State, because I don't think Golden State cares if he does 17 and 3.
Okay.
They just care about him doing his performance.
Yeah. But I'm saying if he gave them 17 and 13, they would actually be running plays for him.
Right. I understand that.
So that's another reason why I think.
But Golden State doesn't need him to do that.
Hey, don't be surprised if Dwight goes to Golden State.
So you basically said, damn near everybody in the league gonna end up going to Golden State.
That's what they do, Kurt. Kurt, wait a minute. Kurt, I know you've seen enough basketball to where you know how it works. When you get a team that's rattling off championships like they are,
right?
People are gonna go to take one.
Yeah, everybody trying to chase.
Everybody do it.
Yeah,
that's how it is. So you gonna get them people that you didn't think would go. They could probably gonna end up finding their way over there.
Oh, yeah.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if Jamal Crawford ended up there next year.
Man,
I'm just saying, man.
Ain't enough basketballs, man.
I'm just saying. Like, look, I can tell you this: Nick Young probably ain't gonna be back on there next year.
Why would you think that?
Because, like, I'm saying, like, what does Nick Young bring to the table for them to want to bring him back? You know what I mean?
Well, he's an outside shooting threat. Even if he's missing him, you still got to guard him, though.
Now, let me ask you this question.
Because he will hit.
Let me ask you this question. If you had a choice to get Jamal Crawford or Nick Young, who you taking? I'm taking Jamal Crawford.
Well, for fundamental wise, yeah.
Kurt, I'm talking about for a shot making anything.
Jamal Crawford.
You're taking Jamal Crawford.
Is a better player than Nick Young.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you still have to, like I said, even with Nick Young doesn't have Jamal's ball handling capabilities, you still have to come out and guard him, though.
Yeah, you still do. But when you get Jamal Crawford the ball, even if you tell Jamal Crawford, look, we don't need you to dribble. We're gonna throw you the ball. We just need you to hit shots. Jamal Crawford's going to hit them shots. He going to hit them shots.
Yeah.
And probably 9 times out of 10, he going to get a 4-point play off them shots too.
Right.
So
I think he broke the record for the
you know what I mean?
plays, right.
That's what, so I'm taking Jamal Crawford.
Right.
You know, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if you had a choice between Zaza Pachulia and Dwight Howard, I'm taking Dwight Howard.
Well, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so it's not like I'm like the players that they got on their bench, those guys are replaceable.
Right.
So now you're going to get those guys who are at the end of their careers is trying to get that ring. And they're going to start going to Golden State.
Right. Or then everybody going to start complaining about that.
Yeah, of course.
So, like I said, it's a lose-lose, man.
Well,
Golden State can't win, man.
All right, Kurt. So let me ask you this. So you said you think LeBron's going back to Cleveland.
Yes.
Now, I think if LeBron goes back to Cleveland, if LeBron goes back to Cleveland, he will not win another championship.
He's not going to win another championship if he goes anywhere else. This is what y'all need to understand. No. LeBron will not win another championship, period.
All right, Kurt, let me throw this to you.
He will not win if he leaves Cleveland.
Let me throw this to you. Let me throw this to you right quick. So let's say, and this is just a shot in the dark. Kawhi Leonard wants to leave San Antonio. And this is supposedly. Because I haven't heard Kawhi Leonard come out and say he wants. Like, I haven't even heard the Spurs say Kawhi Leonard wants to leave.
What? You ain't been watching TV?
No, Kurt, you know what? No, this is what I've been hearing. I've been hearing reporters, like one reporter will say the meeting between Pop and Kawhi was good.
Right.
Then Stephen A will get on there and say it wasn't good. Then one reporter will get on there and say the Spurs are still going to work at it. Then another reporter will say the Spurs are talking to the Lakers.
Right.
So I don't know what to believe.
Right.
And you know how it is, Kurt. Like how it is now. Everybody wants to be first.
Exactly.
So people just gonna spew out bullshit just so they can get first.
Exactly. That's
so
true.
Now let's say this. Greg Popovich goes. He meets up with LeBron. He tells LeBron like, "Hey, look, if you stay in Cleveland, you ain't winning nothing. You know this. If you go to the Lakers, you're gonna go to the Lakers and you're gonna be hoping that Paul George wants to come there and play in LA. Mm-hmm. But And then if you put your hopes and dreams on Paul George and Kawhi coming there, we're gonna take all the young talent. So the only thing the Lakers are gonna have is LeBron, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard.
And that's going to be wherever he goes. That's what we saying the same thing.
No, wait.
He's not going to have a supporting cast no matter where he goes.
Here I come with it. Not Kurt. Wait. I'm coming with something. So, Pop tells LeBron, like, look, this is what we're going to do. I want you to go talk to Kawhi. Tell Kawhi to sign that extension. LeBron, you come here to San Antonio. LeBron, Kawhi, LaMarcus Aldridge. They got DeJounte Murray starting. They got whoever the dude is with the wild hair that they picked up yesterday. Whoever that dude is.
Yeah, the fourth somebody.
Yeah, whoever that dude is. They got Tony Parker coming off the bench. They got Danny Green. They could probably trade Pau Gasol to kind of, keep some money. Right. Get rid of Pau Gasol. Maybe Manu Ginobili says, since we got this team here, I might stay with one more year.
Right.
Manu Ginobili stays. Spurs, maybe the Spurs might pick up Jamal Crawford. Who knows? Spurs go. I'm just saying, Spurs pick up some dudes on the minimum.
Right.
So now you got Greg Popovich, best coach in the NBA ever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
With LeBron LeBron's in the West now. LeBron knows I'm about to see the Warriors 4 times a year.
Exactly.
I'm probably going to see them either in the second or third round of the playoffs.
Exactly.
You got a LeBron that's being coached by the best coach LeBron will ever be coached by in Pop now.
Right.
You got Kawhi, who's got something to prove now because he done just made a whole mess of the situation.
Right.
Got LaMarcus Aldridge coming off the best Spurs season he ever had. Tony Parker got something to prove. Ginobili and Parker both trying to get that last championship.
Right.
Spurs could do it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a heck of a scenario.
Kurt, now, it's a shot in the dark. It probably won't happen. It ain't going to happen. There's probably less than 1% is going to happen.
Negative 1,000%.
Kurt, it's no chance. But I'm saying, I was talking to JJ, friend of the show, JJ. Me and him were talking about this. I told JJ, if LeBron doesn't go to either the Spurs or the Rockets, I don't think LeBron's trying to win the championship. Because if he goes to Philadelphia, I don't see how it could work. Because Ben Simmons couldn't shoot a ball in the ocean.
Right, but he can handle the ball. See, that's why LeBron will be the big piece. That's the thing, as we were just talking about. Point guards specifically supposed to be shooting the ball. They're supposed to be passing the ball. Him not shooting is not a detriment if LeBron is on the team.
But let me ask this question. With the Cleveland Cavaliers right now, LeBron handles the ball. LeBron dictates the offense. The offense.
See, and that's LeBron will have to learn how to let that go.
Kurt, okay. So, and that's a perfect.
Not being
I'm happy you say that, Kurt.
LeBron needs to let that ball
Kurt,
go.
Know what I'm gonna tell you what a wise man once said. He said that maybe about, once an NBA player's in the league for about 7 years, you kind of know who they are. You know what I mean? Right. Like, once they in there for it's kind of like all those years when Derrick Rose was with the Bulls, and every year, I know you remember it, they would say, Derrick Rose is working on a 3-point shot.
Right.
Derrick Rose is splashing 3-point shots.
Exactly.
Once the season started, Derrick Rose couldn't hit a 3-point shot. Right. He would be hesitant to shoot it, and he would end up driving to the hole.
Right.
So you would say, at this point in his career, you know who Derrick Rose is.
Right.
At this point in his career, you know who Jamal Crawford is. At this point in his career, you know who once you get 5, 6, 7 years in the league, you know who these dudes are.
Exactly.
LeBron James is 15 years in the league.
Exactly.
I know who LeBron's the best, probably the second best player ever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know who LeBron is.
Right.
LeBron, the reason the Cavaliers are in the position they in now is because of LeBron James.
Of course.
The people that's on that team is because of LeBron James. They put the people around him for LeBron James. Like the reason LeBron and Kyrie didn't work is because of LeBron. LeBron is the point guard. He dictates the offense. You put players around him that stand around and they shoot. Because you got to keep it open. So if you got to do it, Ben Simmons.
That's what lost the game.
Exactly. So you got to do like Ben Simmons, who can't shoot, what can he do if LeBron is going to hold on to the ball?
And that's what I'm saying. LeBron needs to let that ball go.
LeBron's not letting that ball go.
Well, again, no matter where he go, he will not, like you said, he will not win the championship.
Exactly.
Because he needs to learn how to delegate without having that ball.
Now, the only time I can remember LeBron actually doing that was in Miami with Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Because LeBron respected Dwayne Wade enough. But I don't think LeBron has respect to Philadelphia like that.
Hey, man.
Now, if he goes to San Antonio and Popovich is telling you, you can't do this,
right,
that's totally different.
Right.
Now, if he goes to Houston and Chris Paul is there and Chris Paul tells him, hey, you need to do this, LeBron might do it.
Right.
But if LeBron stays in Cleveland, it's going to be the same thing.
It's going to be the same thing.
Like, I read something today, they said Cleveland's still trying to get, like, Kemba Walker from Charlotte.
Why?
Why? It ain't gonna make a difference.
It's not gonna make a difference.
It ain't gonna make a difference.
Like I said, LeBron can't let go of the ball. It's not gonna make who they get. No matter what point guard they try to get, if he don't want to let go of that ball, it doesn't make a difference.
But Kurt, I'm with you on that. I think LeBron's gonna stay in Cleveland.
Yeah,
I think LeBron's gonna stay in Cleveland.
Why go like you say the devil you don't know? Just stay with the devil you do know, because you're not going to accomplish anything.
And this is what I honestly think. I think LeBron stays in Cleveland, and I think LeBron talks to maybe Paul George. And
man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm be honest.
I
don't understand why everybody keep thinking about this Paul George cat, man. I think he's, like you said, overrated. He's
definitely overrated.
He doesn't perform when the performance needs to be performed.
Is Paul George a top 25 player?
No, he's not. In my personal opinion, he's just a name right now that people have no other choice but to say. You know what I'm saying?
Would you rank Gordon Hayward above Paul George?
No, I can't rank Gordon Hayward because he didn't play last.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about Utah Gordon Hayward over Paul George.
Utah Gordon Hayward. See, you can't do that because Gordon Hayward.
Victor Oladipo.
Victor Oladipo.
Yeah, over Paul George.
Over Paul George. Tenacity. Yes. Victor.
I'm talking
showed himself.
Player for player.
Player for player, yes.
Victor showed himself. Oladipo over Paul George.
Over Paul George, yes. In my personal opinion, I would go see Victor before I go see Paul.
Donovan Mitchell in Utah over Paul George, even though Utah did beat the Thunder. Would you rank
Donovan Mitchell? Yes.
Oh shit!
And what I'm basing this on, is like you said, you respect a man's game, but when it comes down, you talking about folding. When it comes down, he folds quicker than envelopes, man.
True, but that's when you're dependent on him to close out a game. And
that's the problem. You got Donovan Mitchell, rookie in the league, being dependent on to close out the game, and he's closing them out. You got Paul George by himself, the best player on the fucking court, and can't do nothing.
So if Paul George is good, let's say Paul George is a good player the first 3 quarters. Let's say all the 4 quarters up until, let's say, the last 60 seconds of the game, Paul George is a superstar talent. But once that last 60 seconds get there in a tight game, he withers away. He gets lemon booty.
Right.
Now, wouldn't you say if you put him on a team with LeBron, wouldn't that make up for those last 60 seconds?
But see, that's the problem.
LeBron's not giving him the ball.
But that's the problem. Y'all need to understand that LeBron wants players that don't have to defer to him all the time. You see what happened with JR. When JR took the initiative and thought he was doing something right, he was wrong.
Kurt.
Because he was trying not to defer to LeBron.
Kurt, JR was thinking about getting some Hennessy and some Swisher Sweets. Right.
Because that's what you do when you win a game. When you get a W, you get Hennessy and Swisher Sweets.
Exactly. So
he
JR
thought he was getting a W, so he didn't want to defer to LeBron.
Right. No, he forgot he didn't realize what the score was. He had the Swisher Sweets and Hennessy in his brain so much he forgot what the score was. But LeBron,
I'm telling you, at this time in his point in his career, he wants someone to be able to get their own.
All All right, Curtis.
He really does.
So let me ask you this. So if LeBron stays in Cleveland, who can Cleveland get to give? I'm talking about, like, right now, the Cleveland ain't got a shot. They got a sweat. They got, like, Kurt, before the series even started, I said it'd be a miracle if LeBron can get one game off the, like, it'd be, and this is, like, true. Even if LeBron went against Houston, Cleveland was going to lose.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to lose.
Like, that's the crazy. LeBron was lucky to get out the first round.
Yeah.
Lucky to get out. Now, with Toronto, I don't know what
them
the
professional fall apart. I
don't know
them
what
cats,
the
now you talking about withering.
I don't know what
when the game is on the line. Toronto, man.
I don't know what happened out of there.
Man,
to be the number one team in the conference, and every other team in the conference that took Cleveland to 7 games except for the number one team.
Exactly.
I don't know what's up with Toronto, but Cleveland was lucky to get out the first round, lucky to get out the third round. I knew the moment I saw Houston and Golden State, no matter what happens, LeBron he wasn't gonna get another championship.
Right.
It was impossible.
Exactly.
Nothing he would have did.
No, there's nothing he can do. It's not called the LeBrons. It's called the Cavaliers. That's the problem.
True. But what I'm saying is that if he stays in Cleveland, like, honestly, what team could LeBron go to right now that wouldn't have to give up a lot of pieces to get him, could actually win a championship with him on the team? Because I think LeBron's already said he ain't taking no discounts.
We just mentioned Oladipo. What if he go to the Pacers? Because you got Oladipo in the backcourt. LeBron can truthfully play his forward position.
That, if Indiana could get another point guard, I could go with that.
See, there you go with this point guard.
I think they need another point guard. I'm talking about a knockdown shooter point guard. Knockdown shooter.
And who was that?
Kurt, I have no clue.
Exactly.
I have no clue.
Who is that?
I have no clue.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying.
But
Trae Young,
Kurt, now
in that personal opinion, is the only true point guard that got drafted last night.
Even if LeBron went to Indiana couldn't beat the Warriors. Honestly, I think the only team he could go, if he went to Philadelphia, they could probably get to the finals. But I don't think they could beat Golden State.
Who in this generation right now can beat Golden State?
Houston could have beat Golden State.
But they didn't. So you coming up with a hypothetical.
Hypothetically what I'm saying is Houston was up on Golden State 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul got hurt.
As usual.
Now, if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, I think Houston at least wins.
I know, but we've been saying that all through Chris Paul's career. When he was in New Orleans, when he was fucking
Chris
with
Paul's
LA.
an injury. Kendrick, Chris Paul is an injury.
Every time, if Chris didn't get hurt, they could have.
So let me throw this to you, because a lot of people are saying LeBron going to Houston. Wouldn't you think that instead of Houston trying to get LeBron, maybe you should try to get a legit backup point guard to go behind Chris Paul?
Who? I'm agreeing with you 100%. A point guard is needed. But who?
I don't know the free agent point guard.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out. I'm looking at the games of last season, and I'm trying to figure out what point guards are you talking about.
Every team's got a point guard.
But
but who's a free agent point guard?
Nobody. That's what I'm saying. Who is this magical point guard you keep talking about? Everybody needs. I agree with you. They need him, but who is it?
See, but Church, that's the crazy thing is that when you look at every team has a starting point guard.
Right.
Every team. Okay, so let me throw this to you. If Houston goes and gets Ricky Rubio to be a backup to Chris Paul,
no,
you don't think so?
No.
What about Jeremy Lin in Houston? To back up Chris Paul.
I'm surprised Jeremy Lin's still in the league.
Jeremy Lin's a decent player.
I had noticed that when I was looking at the draft and they was listing the teams. I'm like, Jeremy Lin still playing?
Jeremy Lin's a decent point guard, man.
Okay, but see, that's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for a decent. We're looking for a backup point guard that should be a starter on an all-star team every year.
No, I'm not. No, I didn't say that.
So what other point guard are you talking about?
What I said is, What I said is that if you could get a point guard in Houston that could back up Chris Paul to give Chris Paul less minutes on the court.
But see, the thing is, backing up Chris Paul and then performing as a backup player are two different things. Because he's still going to have to not only run the team, but score.
When you say Ricky Rubio?
No.
Ricky Rubio can score.
No, he's not going to run a team.
Ricky Rubio had a good year with Utah. Utah is actually going to be a sleeper team. To be honest with you,
they were a sleeper team.
I'm telling you this right now, man. Okay, I can understand not wanting to go to Utah, but if you're trying to win, Utah's a really good team, man. I really like Utah.
I know.
They're a really good team.
Yes,
I can understand not wanting to go there, but they got a nice squad.
They got a real nice squad.
They got a nice squad there.
Yeah.
Ricky Rubio fit in really good there.
We talking about Houston. No. In my opinion, not in Houston.
Okay, let me throw this to you. Derrick Rose goes to Houston. Backup point guard.
To do what?
Backup Chris Paul. Okay, so and I tell people this. When Derrick Rose signed with Cleveland, he was under the impression he was going to be backing up Kyrie Irving. Then Kyrie said, I don't want to play here no more. I don't want to play with LeBron. Trade me. Cleveland traded Kyrie to Boston. They got back Isaiah Thomas, who had a fucked up hip. Mm-hmm. Basically, Boston fucked Cleveland with no type of lubrication on that one.
Cleveland accepted that.
Yeah, they did. But they if they'd have just did a medical check on Isaiah Thomas, they could have got out of that. But they knew they couldn't bring Kyrie back after that.
Right.
So they took damaged goods.
Right, of course.
Now, if you Derrick Rose and you come in with the expectation, I'm going to be backing up. I'm going to be a point guard. Basically doing what I said Carmelo needs to do, accept your bench role.
Right. Which is what he did. But what you trying to tell me is that he didn't play to his full potential because he wanted to back up.
No, I'm not saying it. No, what I'm saying is when he came in with the expectation of backing up Kyrie Irving.
Right.
Once Isaiah Thomas came in, Isaiah Thomas didn't play in the beginning of the year.
Okay.
So you took a dude who had the expectation that, all right, who's already another injury-prone point guard.
Right. Exactly.
Who possibly is an NBA point. He's an NBA level talent.
Of course.
Who should only be playing 15 at most 20 minutes a game. At most.
Why is that?
He's injury prone.
And as you see as of right now, Kyrie is becoming injury prone as well. So
I never said Kyrie wasn't. Kyrie is definitely injury prone.
So it's going around.
So what I'm saying is that Derrick Rose comes in and now all of a sudden you're telling him, all right, cool, Isaiah Thomas is hurt. All right, we need you to start now. Now you're our starter. You're going to be playing. You're going to be doing 30, 35 minutes a game. And the way that you play, you're not going to be able to play this way because LeBron has the ball in his hands 90% of the time. So now we about to just make you a spot-up shooter. Obviously, that didn't work. So guess what happens? You tell Derrick Rose he's going to play 30, 35 minutes. Derrick Rose gets hurt right at the beginning of the year. So now you got, Isaiah Thompson, Rose is out. They get rid of Rose. Rose goes to Minnesota,
right? Comes
off the bench, 10, 15 minutes, has a really good playoffs as a backup guard.
Right.
Not even really, because Derrick Rose isn't a point guard. He's a shooting guard.
Right.
But if you take him to Houston and you say, all right, look, and you know how Houston is. Houston is nothing but iso ball.
Right.
So you have him back up Chris Paul coming off the bench. I'm just saying if you're looking for a point guard that can score.
But so basically you telling me then in that scenario, if Chris Paul gets hurt first week of the season, Derrick has to take over, then he's shitting for shit.
They fucked.
They fucked again. They fucked.
But the thing
that's all I'm hearing out of this story.
No, but then again, James Harden could kind of handle the ball.
Which is what he was doing before Chris Paul even came to the team.
Right. But what I'm saying is that, so if Chris Paul gets hurt, you got Derrick Rose bagging him up. You kind of have, Derrick Rose ain't going to really be pounding the ball that much. Pretty much James Harden is your point guard now.
Right.
So now Derrick Rose is your 2 guard.
Right. So it's the same scenario just like it was in Cleveland. So
sort of,
Derrick is still not controlling the team.
Look,
so we're still saying the exact same thing, man.
You got me on that one. but I think, honestly, I think that Houston, they don't need to be thinking about LeBron. They need to be thinking about trying to get somebody to back up Chris Paul. At least a dependable backup for Chris Paul. Exactly. It don't have to be an all-star player, but a player that can come in for 15 minutes and can at least get you like 9 points. Exactly. If he can get you 9 points that can hit shots or keep defense honest, they'll be fine.
Even the minimum double-double, 10 points, 10 assists.
That's what I'm saying, Jeremy Lin.
That's the minimum.
That's what I'm saying, Jeremy Lin. I like Jeremy. Jeremy Lin played really good when he was in New York with Mike D'Antoni.
Really?
Yeah, like 3 weeks.
You said with 3 weeks?
So honestly, I think this.
3 weeks.
Yeah. So I don't think LeBron go to the Lakers. I don't think the Lakers gonna win anything anyway. No. Only thing that's gonna happen is LeBron ain't gonna make it to the finals.
That's it. That's all that's gonna happen.
That's the only thing that's gonna happen. And
that's gonna happen regardless of where he go. If he doesn't go, like you said, to Spurs and Kawhi's there. If he doesn't go to Houston with Paul Harden. And if he doesn't go to Golden State, the only other way he gonna make a championship.
Kurt, I'll say this: if LeBron goes to Golden State, I'm boycotting that season.
Man, and that's what I'm saying. He might as well create his own team.
I'm gonna boycott it.
Man.
So, all right. Is there anybody else big that's a free agent that we didn't talk about? Or we kind of got through them all?
I think that's it, man. That's what I'm saying. Who is there?
I don't know. Kurt, so last Saturday, I went to a magic show.
Really?
I went to a motherfucking magic show. Kurt, I don't know if you know my fascination with magic.
No.
Kurt, like magic it's incredible. Like I think people that could perform magic, they're like next level to me.
Yeah.
I went and I saw David Blaine.
Really?
Yeah. David Blaine, probably right now, probably the most famous comedian. Probably the famous magician right now.
Right? Yeah.
Probably the most famous. He's like on all the talk shows and stuff.
Exactly.
Kurt, Chicago theater, sold the fuck out for David Blaine. Sold you wouldn't think a magic show would sell out and have a line wrapped around the corner and people are getting VIP tickets to see a magician.
Right.
This dude is like rock star magician.
Oh my God.
Like, like David Copperfield, Harry Houdini type level magician. This guy is incredible. Kurt, I'm gonna just tell you one of the tricks. And like if you go on YouTube, you could probably see it. David Blaine, he brings 2 women up on the stage. Has one woman pick a card, usual card trick. So with the card, he tells her, "All right, rip off the corner." He lets her keep the smaller corner. Mm-hmm. He gives that card to the next woman. That next woman puts the card in the deck, shuffles the deck up. Basically, and then just sprays the cards everywhere.
Right.
And puts his face underneath it. Then he has the other woman sew his mouth shut. Literally, Kurt, with a needle and thread, he sewed his mouth shut.
Wow.
I seen it with my own eyes, Kurt.
Wow.
So actually, he sewed his mouth shut before he had the card disperse everywhere. So after he does that, he has the woman cut the thread.
Whoa.
Kurt, the motherfucking card was in his mouth.
Right.
Kurt, are you here? The card was in his mouth, man. Kurt, the magic. Magic is one of the things.
That sounds painful magic right there.
Yeah, Kurt, at his big finale, went into a water tank, held his breath for 10 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, that's his big deal right there.
Kurt, incredible. Now, magic is one of the things where it tricks your mind. What you think you're seeing, like the thing with magic is there's something to it.
Right, exactly.
There's something to it, but that's what fascinates me. Is like, how are you doing this when I'm looking at you doing it?
Exactly. The art of deception.
Exactly. Like he brought this guy and his girlfriend on stage, and he had the woman close her eyes, and he went to her boyfriend and he's like tapping him on the shoulder, and he asked the woman, did you feel me? Did you feel anything? She was like, yeah, you tapped me on my shoulder. He didn't even touch her. Wasn't even next to her, Kurt. How does this happen?
Wow.
How does this happen? And then the next question I ask is, now you might be thinking, okay, they're a part of the show. Kurt, he had a balled up piece of paper. He threw the piece of paper in the crowd. And the first person that called it, he had them throw it behind them. So this is random people.
Right.
How is this stuff happening? Magic it's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. It's always been
everybody needs to go to a magic show.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody needs to go to a magic show.
Yeah, I've never been to David Blaine quality magic show, but I've been to a magic show before. But yeah, it's always, like you said, that art of deception, man. Trying to figure out how, like I said, you witnessing this, but you can't figure out how it's being done.
It's incredible, man. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So next thing I want to touch on. All right, so we talked about it. XXXtenacion. I just figured out how to pronounce his name last night.
I guess so.
As I was doing my research.
Right.
Now, what I wanted to talk about, Kurt, is so this guy, 20 years old, gets shot down in his car.
Right.
I think he was like in his old neighborhood. He was like at a motorcycle shop. Some guys shoot him down, take his Louis Vuitton bag out the car, and run off. And I think they found the guy that shot him, I think. But Kurt, I didn't want to so much talk about him like getting shot, really, because it's fucked up. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The dude that's 20 years old, you know what I mean? That's just a baby, man.
Right.
He's just a baby. And what I want to talk about is these motherfucking creeps on Twitter. Because another thing I saw today was Johnny Depp. This thing like Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is making movies because he needs the money. Like he can't live his lifestyle without doing this.
Well, yeah, most people get to that problem.
They're saying like Johnny Depp is like he's kind of like on drugs now. He's drinking. He's kind of like drinking a lot. And a young lady on Twitter said, "I'm enjoying seeing the downfall of Johnny Depp," and it kind of got me thinking because after this guy XXXtenacion died, a lot of people on the internet, I'm talking about the day that it came out, he died. People are talking about good for him. I'm happy that he's dead. I'm happy that this happened to him. And a lot of this is coming from because he had some claims about abuse to his girlfriend.
Right.
And actually I actually pulled up an article, and it was a girlfriend that he had. He was abusive to her. He used to beat her up. And at one point, he even beat her when she was pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And he said he threatened to kill her and the baby. And at one point he had like, I think it was like a fork or something. And he basically said he was going to stick the fork in her vagina. And he rubbed it against her thigh, and she passed out because she was so scared.
Okay, but those were words that I know are threatening, but he didn't perform the act, but he said he would do it just to scare her, and she fell out just from the thought of it.
Exactly.
Is what you're telling me.
But he did physically.
But he was physically abused, but with the
I would say verbally, physically, and mentally abusive to this woman.
Right.
Now, obviously, that sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's a creep. He's a dirtbag for doing that. That's terrible.
Exactly.
You shouldn't do that. Now, my thing is, I think that even if somebody is abusive, I don't think that you should champion or be happy that somebody got killed.
Right. Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't be rooting for that.
Right. And I think like in this time that we in now, Kurt, where like I always say this, I say that like Facebook, Twitter, all the social media, they give voices to people who otherwise should not be heard.
Right.
Like the racists of the world are like fucking came out yesterday, Kevin McHale's wife she's like she supports Trump, and with the whole border thing and separating the kids from their parents. She she kind of was supportive of that. And there was like a picture of Kevin McHale, NBA Hall of Famer from the Boston Celtics. He was at a Trump rally.
Really?
Yeah. And now the thing is, without this social media, who the fuck knows who Kevin McHale's wife is? Nobody. You know what I mean? Like, so it's that kind of thing where now with social media, the people that you're giving voices to people that any other time you would never know who they are.
Not at all.
And I think like now, like when you got a guy that's 20 years old that doesn't got shot and killed, this dude is 20.
Right.
The stuff I did at 20, I'm ashamed to even think of it now.
Of course.
The stuff that I did when I was 20, I don't even want to talk. Like, I would say, like, if I had kids now, I wouldn't tell my kids the stuff that I did when I was 20.
Right.
I wouldn't want them to know the type of stuff that I was doing.
Exactly.
It's kind of like my dad, when his friends come over and they start talking about old times and they'll try to bring up stuff that he did in his past, he tell them, I don't want him to know that. You know what I mean?
I understand.
And so you look at it like the stuff that now what he did was terrible. So I'm not trying to make it seem like exactly.
He was abusive, and then make it so bad that he was young and abusive.
Exactly. But the thing is that when and it's not even blaming it on the area, but I do know that when I was growing up, shoot man, you would the stuff in certain neighborhoods. It's not frowned upon.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, I remember when I was growing up, I would hear about dudes hitting girls.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, there was like 50 Cent got a hit song called PIMP where he's talking about busting a girl's head off.
Right.
So you think like this dude's 20, who knows what he grew up in.
Exactly.
But now
these abuse he sustained.
Right. But now these people are like happy that he's dead. And that kind of just struck me the wrong way.
Oh yeah, it is terrible. Like I said, it's terrible both ways, man. Because like I said, we don't condone the fact that he was abusive, but like you said, we still don't know what happened to him because that stuff becomes a trend. It follows you. So he was abused, guaranteed 100%. But like you said, that is not a way to say, well, I root for his death.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't supposed to do anything like that. And I understand, like I said, you be upset. But at the same time, in hypothetical thoughts and questions, what if he beat somebody to death? Would you have an issue with them championing him being killed? Since he was so abusive. Because we only know, again, the stories of what we hear.
Exactly.
We don't know how many people he's abused and vice versa.
Right. Yeah.
So if he beat someone to death and it was killed and they said, okay, I'm glad this happened to him, will it be a different scenario?
Kurt, now I think we actually talked about this. I'm not a real supporter of the death penalty. I think that once you're in jail, you need to rot. Right. That's just me. That's just what I believe.
Yeah, I think that they're wasting my money and my taxes.
I understand. But I think that when you in there, or send these motherfuckers out to like Iraq or Afghanistan and have them fight or something.
Exactly.
Have them do something.
Exactly.
But my thing is, I don't champion anybody's death.
No,
death is one of them things there ain't no coming back from it.
Right.
There ain't no coming back from it. So I don't champion that. I think that if you look at it like in jails now, there's some dudes in jails that's done terrible things that are now probably doing positive things once they're in jail.
I understand that. But see, just to interrupt you, it's not about championing death. If you are capable of taking another's life, you need to be dead, man, because it's not going to take much for you to take another. You've already took one. Right. What's going to stop you from taking another?
So are you saying, because the way I look at it is this: the people that are like happy that he's dead, they're basically celebrating the dudes that killed him.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's that thing where it's that, in the moment, I think people, especially with how social media is, it's like the moment you get a thought, it's all right, I want to put this out.
Oh, right, exactly.
And you're not thinking about exactly what you're doing. Like I think like on Twitter, what they need to do is that once you type something up, it doesn't go out for at least a good 5 or 10 minutes so you can actually look at it and think, do you really want to say this?
Well, yeah, but see, even with me, when I do participate in the social platform, I do that. I think about what I want to say. If I do decide to type it up, I read it. If I don't like it, I delete it. I don't press send. Who are we looking at outside?
Kurt, that's your child.
Who is this? That's TJ?
Yeah.
Oh, this dude here don't do nothing. But yeah, like I said, it's still your discretion. You should be able to have self-control, and this is what I'm talking about. Because actually, you know what? While we're on that subject, I had just sent out on Facebook. I'm watching these truth commercials about big tobacco. Big tobacco is not controlling you. If you're a smoker, you smoke because that's what you want to do. They basically calling people poor, dumb, and lack of will. This is what these commercials are actually doing. You have the capability to say no to smoking, just like I have the capability to say no to drinking coffee. I drink coffee. Big coffee bean is not controlling me. If I want to drink coffee, I drink coffee. It's just like I said, if I dare say gun makers make people shoot people, knife makers make people stab people. No. The truth is that this is a subliminal message on this commercial to make you want to smoke more. You already being called poor, dumb, and lack of will. What more can they call you?
Well, Kurt, you're right on that. And we had 1 hour and 10, so we're going to wrap this up.
Okay.
But to go off of what you just said, Kurt, is that if you're addicted to crack or cocaine or weed or heroin or something, if you suck a penis for that drug, it's not the drug that's making you suck a penis. You were just interested in sucking that penis. So, so we going to end it right here. All right. You guys have a good week. Drink your water. All right, we out.